Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is my first video with the Sims 4 Horse Ranch finally installed and ready to go. This is technically my second time doing this because the first time, of course, my microphone was not turned on. I always forget to turn it back on after doing speed builds, but you know, you win some, you lose some. Second time around should be a little bit better. So we are starting off right now, just kind of playing around. We are making our own windows with these little square ones, making some rectangle windows. This build I'm doing is inspired by a like $5 million home in California. It was kind of like on like a winery land looking thing. So I thought it fit very well with the goals I have for this Let's Play, which I want to play with horses and make some wine. That's all I know about this pack. I haven't played it yet. Literally got home from work yesterday, played, and built this house. And I just finished this house like a couple hours ago. I am loving the aesthetics of this pack, loving the build by. That's all I've done. One thing I love, it's a really tiny detail, but I have been wanting these for a while. I think a lot of people have, because you can kind of see makeshift versions of them in the gallery if you go back the past however many years since the Sims 4 came out, almost like 10 years. They finally added shingles, which you can see I added in on the second level of the house. I add those in different places later. But yeah, I think that's just like a super nice little addition that actually is pretty realistic and adds just like a little bit of realism to the build. So the color scheme for this house is pretty interesting. I kind of followed the one that was in the build I followed. It has a white paneling. It has like a warm kind of creamy color stone, and then it has like a warmy orange wood, which I think is really cool. Haven't done this color scheme before, so it's always fun to like try something new. You'll see later in the video, but the color scheme for the inside is super light and bright. I use like the lightest washed out wood swatch in the game that came with Horse Ranch, and then we do some like darker browns furniture pieces to accent it. Right now, we are going in on the back decking area. Lots of outdoor living space in this house, which is one part that I love about it. And like it's all very like different tiers and like different areas to keep it kind of separate and to keep you using the entire house. So we are currently just doing the outside kind of decking. I want to do like multi-platform levels, but because I used a foundation, the platform would not go right up against the foundation. You can see me here trying to finagle it, but I just give up, and we end up just doing a nice little patio area with some concrete pavers down in that area, but we'll see that later. And I love all the different windows I'm using in this house. We are using the big modern ones that came with Horse Ranch, as well as different sizes and different stackable options for those little square windows, which I wish they would have given us a whole bunch of different options for these windows. But, you know, given that they're just squares, they're very easy to stack and manipulate to however you would like. So it's not too hard to do that yourself. So as over here, we are doing like a nice little raised planter. This was actually part of the actual house and had this little like side pathway going to the back of the house with some concrete pavers, which I'm doing right now using the Desert Luxe concrete, which is one of my favorite concrete in the game. I use it in almost every house for my outdoor for my outdoor patio sets. And it kind of goes all the way around. On that kind of side with those pavers is going to be where the barn, not a barn, it's more just like some stables for the horses. Those are going to be around that side. On the kind of blank area off to this right hand side of these bedrooms is where our little wine field is going to be, where we grow some fruits and veggies to make wine with, or sorry, nectar with, because there's no alcohol in The Sims. And we are just doing a little bit of a floor plan upstairs. We jump around a lot in this video, so it's not gonna be a cohesive, we do this, then this, and then we're done. We do landscaping, and then we do some layout work, and then we decorate the kitchen, and we just jump around to wherever my heart was desired to go in the moment. Right now, my heart was desired to work on the stables, so on the left-hand side in that bigger room is going to be the nectar making area. And then we have 3 different stables. I don't think I'm going to have 3 horses right off the bat, but I have the space for them just in case. Also thought it'd be good to have some extra space if the sheeps and goats need extra, like a room or like a bed or something, they can go in there. We end up doing terrain paint in here because I thought the horses should have some more cushiony ground that looks like they could actually be comfortable on it. And still changing up the color scheme a whole bunch, doing some black windows on here, and just adding more modern windows on the part where the nectar making place is. Layout work, as you can see, I was planning on that to be the main bedroom, but I did not realize how many bedrooms I needed for all the kids I had. I currently have 4 kids in this Let's Play save, so I had to add in some extra bedrooms. Right now, I am doing more terrain painting. There was a lot of terrain paint already on the lot, as well as that nice little ranch sign at the front of the lot. So I decided to kind of use the terrain paint to my advantage and kind of go along those natural curves that was already there and just point it in the direction that my doors were. I thought that worked really well. So right now we are just doing some more layout work, putting in some fireplaces and bringing in some of that stone from the outside inside. In the center of the house, we have our kitchen and kind of more formal living room. Off to the one side with this second story, we have bedrooms and a more kind of casual living room. And then on the far side, we have a dining room, as well as a little saloon bar, kind of where my sim Callie can actually practice her bartending skills. So now I'm going into debug with the live edit objects and doing some landscaping. I wanted this landscaping to be very natural and kind of mishmash. That's my type of landscaping. That also allows it to blend in with the surrounding area. So when we're in live mode and those kind of lot lines are out of the picture, it just blends seamlessly into the world around it. And even though it is a closed off world, we can only explore a little bit of the area. It just makes it feel that much bigger when your lot just seamlessly goes into the surrounding area. And without live edit, I don't think I could have done as much as I did. Those rocks were super cool. I just plopped those around. They added in some nice kind of like landscaping and some nice kind of natural like areas where the landscaping should go, where fences should go around, like, and it looks like they were already there and we just built around those rocks. Yeah, the debug is honestly one of the best base game updates they've added to The Sims. It just brings a whole new area of places where you can look for not only landscaping, that's the main thing I use it for, like I would not have found these little grass patches, but also just like little cars and like little decor that you can just place around the outside of your house, even inside too, to just give it that extra little bit of detail that, you know, you might not think of doing. Like those mailboxes, I just found those and connected them to my actual mailbox, and it looks like this is just where the mail is for the entire area, and they would all just waddle down on their horses, grab some mail, and then go back home. Now we are just doing more exploration. This was my first time actually seeing any of the objects. I did not watch any build by overviews from other simmers before this, so it was just me with some fresh eyes and just kind of really building organically, which is a very big theme for this build, is building organically. Things are constantly changing, like the color scheme of the inside of the house goes from dark to light to dark to light, and even the layout of the house. Like I didn't realize how many bedrooms I needed, so I just added more in and I made it work. As you can see up there, I only have 3 bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs, but we make that work later. Right now, we are doing the kitchen, and I was just playing around with different flooring in different rooms. I thought I was going to do some stone in like the main couple rooms, but I decided to opt away from the stone and go for some tiles. So this kitchen is that kitchen swatch we end up choosing, but it goes through a bit of variation. We end up with this light swatch in the end, but we did do some trial and error with the darker swatch. We changed the floors from light to dark and tried this darker swatch. And this is why, like, I think I had like almost 4 hours of footage building this house, because I was just having a lot of fun exploring and just, you know, actually kind of experimenting with new objects, because a lot of the time when I build a house, it looks the same as the last one, because I have a very specific style that I like to do, which is very modern, Scandinavian boho, and this is not that. I ended up using a little bit of custom content, as you can see with those tiles, but I can link those down below, or if you guys want to comment, I can just reply to your comments if you're interested in something. I use a lot of just like Philexander and Hey Harry, as well as like Sixum and a few other people, but if you guys have questions, please comment and I can answer them. Loving these beams. We had like spandrels and stuff that could be used as beams before, but these ones look like actual beams that would actually support the house. I only did them like this in the kitchen, and I think I did a little one in the bar area, but it kind of blocks your view, so I didn't want to do too many and actually inhibit where I can actually see my Sims, interact with them and everything. I think we already passed it, but I definitely did paint the ceiling with a white version of the wood floor we use. I think even though a lot of the time, oh, you can see right there, a lot of the time we don't look at the ceiling, it's just nice to know that it's there in case we did want to do some screenshots. We aren't just looking at like a blank white canvas. We're actually looking at some wood that's actually holding up the house. So now I'm kind of just grabbing some objects I like the colors of. Here we kind of go and get in some of those brown themes with the wooden furniture. I get some objects I like and I just place them in each room where I think I want to use them. So this dining room, we start off, we come back and finish detailing it later, but we get this table and this rug that go together really well with like the yellows and pinks. And then we move on and just place some couches and chairs and the bar into the bar area. And we're just flopping around because I just loved exploring this pack, looking at the different swatches. I'm sure as I build with this pack more and more, I'll get faster and faster at knowing what I like. One thing I like is the brown wood I'm using and then also the light tone that I'm using right now. But there are so many different wood swatches and I'm actually really excited to just have access to these in general for future builds because like I don't know where we were going to go without it. Right there and right now, I am just placing some of my family photos that I've taken throughout my gameplay the past, I think, 5 episodes I have uploaded on YouTube. It's going to grow to many more because this family is not ending anytime soon. I'm loving the family. We have Callie and Ranji, who are my 2 Sims. And then we have 4 kids there we have Fire, Rain, Air, and Sage. One with a bit of an element theme. So if you want to find out how that happened, definitely go start with episode 1 of the Let's Play. And then as you watch, Callie just keeps popping out babies over and over. And we just kind of run with that theme and never look back. So I found that rug in this living room, the kind of reddy orange rug. And I also ran with that color. We use that rug there. We use these couch cushions in this little inlet area where you can just have some extra seating if you have a party or anything. We throw some cushions on there to make it nice and comfy and inviting. And then we also use a similar red color on the couches in the more casual living room, which is just across the entryway, where the family can kind of gather, unwind together, play some games, watch some movies, play some video games together. I did not place a game table, like to do puzzles and stuff at, but I'm definitely going to go back and add that in once I get into game, because that's just one item from going together that I love, and I love using it regularly to get my Sims to actually interact with each other, rather than just living in the same house and occasionally saying hi to each other. All right, now we are moving on to planning the main bedroom, popping some doors down. And in this bedroom, we had the space for it, so I wanted to do a walk-through closet into their main bathroom, and that's exactly what we do. The main reason I wanted to do this was because I have a custom content pack. Don't remember what it's called exactly. I will find out for that later, but it has like some really nice built-ins. Dream Home Decorator, don't get me wrong, has some nice built-ins, but this has a more IKEA vibe to it, and these built-ins are just on another level. So in here, I was going to go for the brown theme, doing some more inlet cushions on those walls, but I decided to go for a nice light and bright theme. Have really just a nice beige baby room vibe going on, because this is the type of room I would want, so that's what I'm going to do for my Sims. And we're really just creating a nice cozy space and mixing those woods with some nice fabrics that really complement each other in my opinion. Here is where I realized that I was actually missing a bedroom, so I went upstairs, added in an extra bedroom, and then we go through later and then add in a little extension onto the roof, that organic building, and add in an extra bathroom. Here we are creating more of like a connected look to these pavers. So we have a nice concrete paver, some stones to connect them in between, and we run that all along the back. And since we're outside, we continue, and now we're getting in where our winery is gonna go. So we have the nectar making area on the other side of the lot. Might have to move it onto this side just for ease of use if we're harvesting and then going to the winery. We don't want to walk all the way across the lot to do so. So here we have a little bit of a farm. Might have to expand this later, but right now I think it's a good starting size. And I thought it was super cute to put a tree in the middle. In real life, this would be natural shading, so your plants don't get too hot or dried out. Throughout the day, each plant gets its own amount of shade. That is something I learned in my Coffee Masters program, with that natural canopy over your plants. That's not what it's used for in The Sims. It just looks good in The Sims, but yeah. Had a little pause there. I had a fire alarm incident go on when I was actually building this house today. I was just building, minding my business, relaxing after work, when all of a sudden my fire alarm goes off. So I walk outside. This is a bit of a tangent, but whatever. I, look out the door. I'm like, are people leaving? Is this real? It was. I don't think it was an actual fire. I think it was just like someone set off their smoke alarm a little bit too much, and it sent a message to the fire department. But went outside, found my neighbor, and we just stood there watching. And this was the first time I had seen any of my neighbors. Like literally, you would think I'm the only person living in this building because I just never see anyone. But today I did, and it was kind of funny, just like learning who lives around me. Um, Eventually, the fire department came. There was one fire truck to start, and then two others came, but then shortly they left. So that's kind of when I knew everything was going to be okay. I was going to be like, wow, that's going to suck if my entire house burns down. Um, Cutting from that tangent, look at that table. Wanted to do two little lamps on each side, but that was not the case. We had a center slot, a side slot, and then on this side, it was like in the top left-hand corner. So we just opted for some puzzles. EA, if you're watching this, if you're hearing me, please fix the slotting on that table. Why can't we just have three in the center, pieces of each side? Why is it on the side like that? Here again, going back, I forgot I had toddlers and infants, so I placed in some infant cribs right there. Might have to go through and actually put toddler beds instead, but just for gameplay purposes, those toddlers do have rooms upstairs. They're not decorated. All they have is a bed with their corresponding color. But I just wanted to future-proof it and just have the babies downstairs while they're growing up. So then they don't have to go up the stairs. The Sims don't have to go up the stairs to get to the changing table. Everything. Speaking of changing table, I don't have one. I need to go back and place one down. This is why I like rewatching this stuff and doing speed builds, is because I realize how many things I forget and how many things I need to fix. And then before I upload to the gallery, I can actually go and do that. Here we are building a really nice little lower living area in the backyard. So somewhere where the Sims can come, hide away from the sun. We have a really nice pergola area. And it all started when I found this custom content couch set. So I need to see who made it. It's going too fast. Dreamy Outdoor Set by Sixum, maybe. I don't remember who that is. Yeah, by Sixum. This pergola and all this furniture I'm using right now is all from Sixum. And I thought it was just really nice. A nice little area away. We have an upper dining area right outside the kitchen. So that's up there. But then this area is where more you can just come and just relax with your friends, have a drink, walk outside from the saloon area, and just have a drink together and just relax and get away from that, like those blazing sun rays, which I think would be very prevalent in this area of wherever this is in the Sims world. We have a nice little barbecue and sink area, and we're just decorating the last little pieces of the outdoor patio. Adding in some plants, and here is a really nice seating area with 12 seats. My Sim is in the culinary career, has the culinary aspiration, so she's always cooking, and I really wanted a nice area where she could have her friends over, all of them, every single one, and have a nice big dinner where all of them could sit down together and enjoy the meal. We place a cute little farmhouse for my toddlers and my kids to play with, and get some of my favorite shingles on to the rest of the windows. I think after this, we go into the back and we get in some cottage living cows and chickens, because on this ranch, I think I'm going to start with just horses, sheeps, and goats. But I do eventually, once I get the hang of those animals, add in some cows and chickens to really get the full cottage living ranch, horse ranch feel. Because in my opinion, these could have been the same pack. They could have been, they should have been, but you win some, you lose some. And now we're gonna play with them together. Now that we finally have all the animals we would ever need: horses, cats, dogs, chickens, goats, pigs. No pigs. No pigs. Why no pigs? I want some pigs in my life. What the heck? Here's where I am adding on that extra bathroom. Again, organic building is a big theme in this speed build. So like if something's not working, just change it. There's literally no harm and no foul if you got to change something in your builds. It's a part of learning. And that's why I didn't really cut anything out of this video, because I learned how to build from watching other YouTubers like James Turner and Deligracy and Lil Simsy. So I want to have the same effect on my young viewers and just really let them see that I too need time to think sometimes, and I'll build something and fully demolish it 5 minutes later if it doesn't work. So if your builds aren't working, don't be ashamed just to demolish it and start over. Also, don't be ashamed to get inspo from the internet. Like, I'm not an architect, so I can't just think of a house shape. My last house that my Sims lived in, I did, surprisingly, but that also came from me just looking at a lot of houses in my areas and just kind of merging them and using each aspect of them that I liked and building what I wanted to. Like, this house would not have been able to fathom building something like this. Like, my house that I would have been all white. It would not have had this nice warm creamy color stone or the nice orangey wood mixed with the black roof. Like, none of that would have been there. It would have just been a white farmhouse that you see on Pinterest. And as cute as those are, and as much as I would want to live in one of those, my Sims deserve some actual interesting builds, and so do you guys if you are going to be watching my Let's Plays. And I think this house is just going to be super fun to play in. It's cluttered, but not overly cluttered where I think the game is going to like. It is a really big house, so I wanted to not overly clutter, just to try and optimize the game a little bit. The Sims 4 is getting on the latter end of its 9th year. I think in September is maybe when The Sims 4 came out, December maybe, of 2014. So with all these packs and all these updates and base game updates, the game is bound to lag. So we just want to kind of try and prevent that as much as possible. Now we're finally adding in the little paddocks for my horses, sheep, and all those different animals. I was not going to fence in the yard originally, but I thought it was a nice little touch. It just kind of finished off the entire build. It would also keep all the little animals in, just in the lot. Here I was going to place down a little horse training area, but I saw on that kind of outskirt of the build, there actually is pre-made one, so I didn't think I should waste some space and do that myself. So all I did was just add in some horse trough, a little feeding and drinking trough, and just some of the balls that they can play with. So I thought that was cute. And the final area of the house that we still have left to do is to come in and do this saloon. So I did a really cool built-in bar moment with some cabinets and the nice little bar backing that has like all the different juices and nectars on it. And then we build in a little place. I was going to do a little coffee machine. I do hide a little tea maker right there, just in case my Sims do need a little bit of a mood change. But this is a nice little like area where you guys can kind of come in from the kitchen, make a drink, and then sit here, move on to the outside if you need to. But I think having like a games table in this room especially would be very useful. I feel like this kind of like a nice little parlor area, but in a saloon type fashion. So that is like, it's getting towards the end of the video. So I just want to thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for tomorrow because I'm going to be having the first episode of my Horse Ranch Let's Play.